All right, Nick family, here we go. Salute to you guys at Nick Nation. I'm your boy, Juby the Tubi. Straight talk, family above everything. Hope you guys are doing good. Happy Friday to you guys. And the NBA draft is coming up, guys. 13 days away. A lot of rumors. Excuse me, a lot of mock drafts. So many speculations. Are the Knicks still on the same page? Title of this stream is Knicks Draft Rumors. Is management still on the same page? Who are they targeting? And in Leon Rose, we trust. Do you guys still feel like that? We'll get to that tonight. I know a lot of guys, who I speak to, still think the Knicks management is still on the same page, and they're going after their guy. So expect some big moves to happen. I have my top 7. I'm giving you guys 7 tonight who I want the Knicks to draft in no particular order. Maybe I'll give you a top 3. But I'll be on right now with Zenray from Zenray Sports TV. But before we get to him, because he's doing his little intro right now, I want to share with you guys a video from Zenray that he just posted today. So salute to Zenray for making this nice video for us, for you guys to watch.
Here with Jaden Ivey, the most dynamic guard in the entire
That's
draft.
The guy I want, guys.
Chicago
Get him here no matter what it takes.
Enjoying it out here. Just trying to, soak everything in. I've been doing interviews for the past 2 days and just got to see a little bit of everything. And, I'm just most importantly enjoying it.
Yeah, so we're going to get right into it. We're going to break down your game film and really, show the fans at home kind of what you bring to the table, because
I don't know if you guys have watched films on this guy from Purdue, the shooting guard, small forward, shot creator, defensive specialist, and he is fast. Look at this, guys.
And then on his head, he gets out of the way. He wanted nothing to do with that because you're bouncy. And that
oh, man, we need something like this in New York.
Did you grow up watching him?
I did. Big fan of him and some of my idol.
So, and it's not just the speed in the open court. It's your ability to go from slow and reacts to like shot out of a cannon, right?
Look at that. Oh, my God. Can you imagine Madison Square Garden?
What do you think of his game?
I love his game. One of my
definitely a comparison to Morant for me.
I definitely watch his highlights.
I'll get to that. Who I think everybody who I'm going for reminds me of.
An island and those drops. That's when he hits him with the cross jab, right?
Yes, sir.
Does this look similar?
This does look.
Ladies and gentlemen, Knicks management, Nick Nation. That is the guy that we want to go after. That is the guy that we want to bring to the Garden, to light up the Garden. What a talented kid. The kid is ready to go. I have a couple of players who I'm going to mention just to kind of give you guys. Jaden Ivey, of course. Sharp, of course. Adrian Griffin Jr., Johnny Davis. A couple of players I'm going to mention that I really want the Knicks to go after. But we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what Knicks management is thinking about. We're going to bring Zenray from Zenray Sports TV in here, and I'll be back in 30 seconds with him. All right.
Doing his little intro. So let me unmute him and see what he's saying out there.
Look at that, guys.
Family above everything. Welcome to our show, and welcome to everyone who is live in Juby the Tubi family above everything. So I was just basically speaking about the Knicks moving up in the draft at all costs and trying to get Jaden Ivey.
Oh.
This guy is for real, man. This guy is a talent, and the Knicks cannot lose him like we lost Curry and We lost some other players in the draft. Even Ja Morant, man, we missed him by one slot, and we picked Barrett. Barrett is a nice, great addition to the team, but he's no Ja Morant. I tell you that much. But what do you think, Juby?
Zenray, let me just tell you, salute to you guys out at Zenray Sports TV. Thanks for having me on me. I'm playing a little video for my guys right now, but Zenray, salute to him. He did this video for us on Ivy, put this little montage together for us, and here we get to see this guy, his athleticism, his ball quickness with the ball, his explosiveness. I mean, I can just envision this kind of player at Madison Square Garden along with Obi Toppin and RJ Barrett erupting the Garden and Nick Nation. I agree with you, Zenray. I think we need to try to do everything in our power to move up. You know, everybody's so crazy about getting Donovan Mitchell. I'm going to put that aside, and I said we need to get this guy at all costs. If I'm Leon Rose right now, I'm calling Sacramento and asking them what will it take. And I got some players that I'm willing to give up just to move up. And I know a lot of you Knicks fans may not agree with me, but I think this kid is such a talented player and can be such a difference maker that I'm willing to part with some of my Knicks favorites right now today.
Well, I wouldn't go that crazy. The whole aspect to Leon Rose in building this foundation is you're not going to give away the pieces that Leon Rose has brought in. So quickly, Grimes, Sims, and all these young kids, Obi, that he has brought in here, they're off the table. Barrett is off the table. I mean, you could probably spare Sims, but I think the Knicks are fine with the team. They're kind of piled up with the young kids. And Cam Reddish, I can see not being a Knick. I could see him going on a deal because actually he wasn't drafted by us, but I think he's in the plans as well. I mean, if you can give them Julius, we'll give you next year's our first round pick, and we give you the 2023 Dallas's pick just to get Ivy. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. They got a stockpile of point guards, man. They traded Halliburton, who I thought was the most talented out of all their point guards out in Sacramento Kings. I mean, don't get me wrong. They have some talented point guards, but why do they want to stockpile another point guard? But remember, Ivy is more than a point guard. He's more of a combo guard. You can play him.
I was just going to say that.
Because Ja Morant does the same thing. He can play the point, can play off ball. A great talent. But there's a player that I've been looking at myself in terms of talent that I think the Knicks should be looking at. And you see it on the screen here, man. There's an interview coming up. This kid, Malachi Branham, he is a talent as a freshman, man. This kid is very impressive. I mean, like all these kids are going to take some time to develop. It's going to take them 2 or 3 years. Look how long it's taking quickly. Look how long it's been taking Obi. Now kind of they show flashes after a couple of years. So Nick Nation, you know, you have to understand the building process to this Knick team. And I'm a little bit anxious myself to see this kid just come in. But I think a player who could make a quick impact coming in, and it's going to take him some time as well. Jane Ivey, I think, can develop real fast with this Knick team. I'm not saying he'll become a star right away like Ja did, but you never know, you know. And even Malachi Branham, you don't know. As a freshman, he looks very, very talented. And I hope to see the Knicks do some maneuvering, even if you trade out of the 11th pick, even if you go up in the draft or you move out of the 11th pick and go down. These players will be available. I put a video about him, and he is very, very impressive. I mean, I was doing some research. The Johnny Davis rumors had kind of died down a little bit. Wow, this kid is talented. But I can see the Knicks making a splash here somehow. And the main thing they have to do, Juby, is Julius Randle, Burks have to go to make more room for our kids to play. What do you think? If you had to take a guess, do you think Julius Randle is out of here?
I wish I can give you guys good news. All to be honest with you, I've mentioned it in our previous shows. I think Julius Randle has such a low point season
I don't.
uh, that his value is just atrocious right now. There's no nice word to put it. Yeah, his contract is not outrageous. It's movable, but his value is so bad right now. And then he had the incident with the fans, and I just think right now the Knicks are probably going to run it back with him. And if I hate to say it, guys, I don't want to hear that, but I think if Julius Randle gets moved, I think the best opportunity, unless somebody's willing to take him now, is raise his stock and move him mid-season and raise his stock if he comes out. The guy looks like he's back into tremendous shape. We did see, I don't know if you guys, any Nick Nation out there saw that video with him and Jericho Sims working out. The guy looks fit, cut up. It looks like he's taking this season seriously. I guess maybe Knicks management had a little conversation with him and said, listen, you're not the guy that we signed before we signed. You're not in the same shape, your mind, physical. And I think he made an effort to make it number one priority to get into basketball shape this season. And as far as Malachi Branham from Ohio State, Zenray, I like the kid. I have him. I don't have him as my top 5, and I'm gonna get to that with you in a second. Why? And it's not because of his talent, because I have him in a comparison, and you guys would maybe agree with me, you may not agree with me. To me, he reminds me of R.J. Barrett when I watch his film. R.J. Barrett player. We have an R.J. Barrett already on our team.
He's not as athletic as R.J. Barrett.
Not as athletic, but I see a lot of similarities. And I think, although I saw some flashes of his jump shot being okay,
much better shooter than R.J.
I think he's still a little raw with his jump shooting. I still have him in my top 7. I still do, but I just don't have him. I don't have him in my top 5. That's just me, guys.
Okay. Listen, I respect that, but getting back to Julius Randle, I'm telling you something. Johnny Bryan, as you well know, is getting offers to be coach somewhere else, and he could be taking a job. If not this year, next year, he'll be gone out of here. Let me just tell you something. If Julius Randle stays here with the Knicks, I always say this: oil and water does not mix. And if Julius Randle stays here with Obi Toppin, and we have a season like last year, and we don't make the playoffs, I could see by the All-Star break, if things are not working well, I could see Johnny Bryan jumping into that seat instead of losing him. I think Johnny Bryan can be a hell of a coach for the Knicks. And I'm not a big Tibbs guy. I was in the beginning, but he's very stubborn and hard-headed in his ways of the rotations on the team, that I can see that if they do keep Julius Randle, and I have a feeling Leon Rose wants him out just to have this youth coming through, but for any reason they can't because the value is so low, like you mentioned, and they keep him. I don't know what kind of respect he's going to have for his own coach, because Tibbs never made him accountable for anything, and that can only spell disaster, Juby.
Zenray, just to touch up, I don't think it's even going to get to the All-Star break. I think every chance that Julius Randle does something bad, the fans are going to call for Obi Toppin if this is what they're going to go with. Julius Randle could have a 0-for-4 start, and you're going to see the fans chant for Obi Toppin. So if I'm Knicks management, if I'm Leon Rose right now, and I'm Tom Thibodeau, and I'm everybody up in management, you have to move Julius Randle, because it's only going to get worse. The fans are going to come for Julius Randle unless he comes out from the gate and he's this Michael Jordan kind of player that the fans can sit there and say, oh my God, wait a minute, is Julius back? But if he has one bad game, if he starts to miss free throws, his turnovers, his spin moves where he just discombobulates with the ball, the fans are going to run with his head, off with his head.
That, if they see him getting more time than Obi, and Obi's is on the bench, that's when you're going to hear the yelling from the Knicks fan. Now, regardless, if they think they can play Obi and Randle on the floor at the same time, they're fully mistaken, man. That's like oil and water does not mix. I keep on coming back to that. And the fact that Tibbs has no authority over him, has no say, or can't kind of bench him or say anything to him to get him back in this game because he can't make him accountable. I think that's something the Knicks management has to look at. They have to, at all costs, trade Julius Randle somehow, some way, even if you have to overpay and move up and get that 4 pick, because the Kings are probably in business. They're probably saying, "Yo, we'll draft, Jaden Ivey." You look at Jaden Ivey could be a number 1 pick. I could look at other teams, saying changing their mind the last second and not picking a certain player. But no, I think those top 3 players, Banchero and the other 2 players on top of the draft, I think they're gonna be picked. And then you're gonna see Jaden Ivey number 4. I think the Knicks can have some business dealing with the Kings and can move up, even if they have to overpay slightly. We have so many second-round picks, and we have our next year's our own pick and our Dallas pick as well. I would dangle that with Julius Randle and switch over to and give him the 11th pick this year. I think that's
so you would not give none of the young guys except for Jericho Sims. I know you mentioned Jericho Sims.
Cam Reddish.
And
If you have to Cam Reddish to get him, if you have to overpay a little bit, Jaden Ivey is it's a talent of a lifetime. This kid is going to be something special, and this is the year the Knicks have to make a push. You have all this draft capital. Use it. Dangle, Burks, Fournier, Randall, your 2003, your own pick, your Dallas pick in 2003, at all matters, all costs, and those second rounders you have plenty of. At all costs, try to get Jaden Ivey. If not, then you have to try to deal for number 7, try to get Benedict Mathurin. I think he's the next player that can turn this team around as well.
I like him. 6'6", 6'7" guy. Great jump shot. For me, he reminds me of Carmelo Anthony. I know you cringe a little bit with that name, Zenray. We'll get to that in a second. He's always in the Knicks rumors. People writing about him, but he reminds me of a young Carmelo Anthony, explosive to the rim, able to create his own shot, can post up, can spread the offense. The only thing is, I think he has a better jump shot than when Carmelo first started out in the NBA. So the sky is the limit for this kid. I think this kid is going to be better, has the potential to be better than Carmelo Anthony. And I have him as my second choice in the draft.
Look, anybody who's compared to Carmelo Anthony's a talent. I never said I didn't like Carmelo. I love Carmelo. It's just
the rumors about him coming back to New York for one last Cinderella dance.
Why would you do that? I mean, you're still building. I can see if you're in the playoffs and you need an extra player, another person coming off the bench who can score. That's something different. But we're not there yet. We're still building. Why are you going to have more distractions? You already have a distraction in Randall. Why are you going to bring Carmelo Anthony? It's going to cause a distraction. And what is Tibbs going to do? If he can't control Julius Randle because of his core status on being on the Knicks and not making him accountable, what he's going to do with Carmelo Anthony? That makes no sense right now as the Knicks are building for the future. I say you build with the future. You try to get some of these players out of here, like Randall, Burks. Obviously, Kemba Walker has to go. If he's not traded, he's probably going to be dropped on his final year of his deal. You still have Fournier, who's still up and down. We don't know if the Knicks can still move him. And if not, you can keep him for another year or so. An all-star break type of deal, you can trade him. But, Juby, we have to make moves right now. And Julius Randle is the key to moving up the draft. And Leon Rose, I trust at least.
I think Mitchell Robinson might be key too, Zenray. They still haven't come to contract terms. I know that, the contract deadline, if I'm not mistaken, teams can start talking to him as of July 4th or 2nd, something like that. I forget the exact date. But he's still not signed, guys. I don't know if the Knicks are going to sign him. As last I heard, and this was a few weeks ago, that they are very far apart in negotiations. Now, you guys see, everybody here is on Twitter. They see Mitchell Robinson wearing Knicks gear in Manhattan, showing his face on the NBA store. He's doing this to show that he wants to be here.
Oh, no,
he just show me the money. Right. To quote a famous movie quote, show me the money. And if the Knicks don't want to show him the money, maybe they can package him with a Julius to move up in another piece.
No,
I don't know.
I think Mitchell Robinson's staying here. Look, the Knicks are playing chess right now with him. They're going to sign him. Remember, no one can pay him more than we can. So Mitchell Robinson knows that. Right now, the latest news a couple of days ago, Chicago interested in signing Knicks Mitchell Robinson. They were saying as a deadline for a long-term Knicks deal looms, Mitchell Robinson is drawing interest. Remember, it doesn't matter what Chicago or anybody else. All these playoff teams can only offer him the veteran minimum. And the Knicks can blow that out of the water. There's a couple of teams who can offer him more, and the Knicks are waiting for that. So when that deal comes in, the Knicks are going to offer more and pay him. I see Detroit and some other teams. I think there's another team, young team, that have enough money in their cap space to offer him some big money. But the rest of these teams, like Chicago, where are they going to get the money to outbid the Knicks? He's staying with New York. But there's a lot of teams, a lot of rumors right now. So right now, the Knicks have some kind of 4-year, $55 million extension due by June 30th. Despite Robinson's apparent interest in sticking around, little progress has been made. So, and the reports declare that the Bulls' primary target is Utah's Rudy Gobert or Knicks' Mitchell Robinson. So they're looking for a big man. I think they have a better shot with Rudy Gobert, but you're going to have to give up assets to get him. They figure if they get Mitchell Robinson, even if they do get him, then the Knicks can do a sign and trade with Chicago and get somebody back. But I don't think the Knicks going to do that. The Knicks going to offer him some kind of money that's going to be suitable for him. I see the Knicks making some moves and making a splash this year. This is the year to do it. And I look forward. I really look forward for the Knicks coming up in 13 days, Juby.
13 days. 13 days. I can't wait. Exciting time, Zenray. So my title, Zenray, is In Leon We Trust. Are you? I know. I hate to use the word gambling. Do you put all your trust in Leon and Knicks management to make a big splash, or would you be like surprised if nothing happens, or is it going to be like same old Knicks?
Well, listen, Leon Rose and like Walt Perrin and Frank Zenon and all these people, scouting departments, they have a plan A, B, C, D, E, F. They go deep. And remember, as teams are 2 steps ahead, or so they think they are, I think Leon Rose is 4, 5, 6 steps ahead of them. So the Knicks are not going to be bargaining and knowing that they have to give some of their young assets. Yeah, they'll deal a Randall, a Fournier, a Kemba, even a Cam Reddish, and a Burks. But besides that, you're not going to get anybody else from this Knicks team. So the Knicks have to move carefully, and the Knicks are going to get a good player in return. I mean, you look at the players we spoke about. And right now, I'm going to put in the 3 people that were interviewed. They had Dyson Daniels. They had Malachi Branham. And they had Ty Washington. Now, I don't like the point guard Daniels at all. I think like they're saying now that he's moving up the draft, so the Knicks might not have a shot.
Let him move up.
We don't need him. The only point guard or combo guard I would like on this Knicks team right now is Jaden Ivey. Besides that, Benedict Mathurin, get the small forward in here who can play. This guy can make an impact as well. The Knicks are in business. Expect a big splash at that draft night. The Knicks are going to start moving and grooving. I expect some great things. Do not expect any of these young kids being moved at all, Juby. I hear a lot of people commenting on my channel saying the Knicks can move these young players or Quentin Grimes. They're not going to move any of these young guys, especially quickly. Somebody mentioned something about quickly being in a package deal and we can move up to number 4. Yeah, they would love it quickly. That'll be perfect for them having that.
I was gonna bring that up to you, but I didn't want to get you aggravated because I know we're quickly fans. But I will tell you this: if for some reason, I don't know why, we trade quickly to move up in the draft, that would be the only reason I would draft Ty later on, and that's because he's so similar to Quickly without the point, and I have that he is my 6th pick. And I don't have him as an 11th. That's if we move out. That's if we move out of the 11th.
Juby, if the Knicks end up drafting Ty, you know what I said in our last show, in Leon Rose we trust? Come on. I don't think that's in Leon Rose's plan.
I hope not.
Ty will not be a part of the Knicks at all. I don't expect him to be there. I mean, I don't expect the Knicks to draft him. The Knicks' number one priority is to try to get I think that's personally the best player in the draft for the Knicks, which are two right now, Jaden Ivey and Benedict Mathurin. These are guys you can plug in right away, and they can produce some nice numbers in their first year with the Knicks. These are the type of players we need. If you come out of this draft and you get a Ty Washington, wow, paper bag over my head time, because that'll be a very disappointing draft. Come on, you know better than I am. Last year, Leon Rose was very intuitive in making moves up and down, traded a couple of times, got extra picks. That's what you're going to get from Leon Rose, and that's what you're going to get from the Knicks management. So Ty Washington is all smokescreen. They interviewed him. Dyson Daniels, another smokescreen. I think Malachi Branham, that's a guy that if we move out of the 11th pick there, trade, get another pick in return, we can pick up a talent like that. You're going to go with high ceiling type of guys. Ty Washington's a nice player, and he could be a nice player in the next few years. But I don't see the Knicks drafting a Ty Washington.
What about Johnny Davis from Wisconsin? I like him.
That's intriguing. I'm a big Johnny Davis guy. I think if the Knicks can nab a guy like that, and I think Tibbs from articles I've read is he's very intrigued by Johnny Davis. Somehow, some way, I think he may be picked before. His draft stock is moving up. I see San Antonio may be picking him up. So look, I wish the best for Johnny Davis, but I don't think the Knicks are going to go there. Like I mentioned, Benedict Mathurin, Sohan, players of that nature that's going to make an impact on the Knicks. But
what about Adrian Griffin, Zenry?
Well, knee concerns right there. I think Adrian Griffin is a top talent. I think, injury or not, man, if he's available and you can get a talent like that, I would draft him. But I think the Knicks are going to stay away from him because of his knee concerns. But this guy is going to be a star in the league. If he stays healthy, Adrian Griffin, great talent.
Duke product, he's a great guy, high flyer. I told my partner here, it reminds me of a Latrell Sprewell with a better jump shot, explosiveness, kind of just throws the ball hard down at you. Guy's good, man. Too bad he has that knee injury, because that would have been my lock-in if he was available.
Excuse me, Juby. I have John. He said, "What's up, fellas?" He said we should definitely trade up for Ivy. Look, he's an Ivy guy.
Absolutely.
See how Knick Nation's coming out?
Absolutely.
This is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity to use some of our assets. John, thank you for your comment, and I'm glad you agree with us. You have to, at any cost, to move up and get Jaden Ivey. I don't care what you really have to do. You keep the youth intact. If you have to throw Cam Reddish in there, or Julius Randle, or Fournier, whoever combination, we'll give you this year's 11th pick. We give next year's. I'm willing to give next year's our pick and Dallas's pick just to move and get them. That's like overpaying. I don't think Leon Rose would do something like that. I think the Knicks want to keep their first round next year, but somehow, some way, use some second round draft capital that we have and entice them and make that move up there. Great comment by John. I agree with him, and I think most Knicks Nation knows we can't let this pass. Look, we were one slot away from getting Ja Morant. We got Barrett, a nice player. I'm not criticizing that. We lost Steph Curry one year. We couldn't get
Donovan Mitchell.
We didn't even draft him. We could have drafted him easily. Once again, Jaden Ivey is there for the taking. The Knicks already interviewed him. He was their first interview, and it tells you that the Knicks are going to make a big splash. Knick Nation, 13 days from now, brace yourself. We're going to be on live. The Knicks will acquire Jaden Ivey at all costs unless Sacramento Kings come out with some outlandish deal that we have to give up our Quickleys and Obi, because Leon Rose is not going to go for that. He plays chess. He's not going to play your game of checkers and try to induce us into some crazy trade. This is not the old, Scott Layton management team of the past that made any kind of trade to get the player we wanted. No, this is Leon Rose. And I think in Leon Rose, I trust, and I hope most of Knick Nation trust him as well. I trust more Leon Rose than I do Tom Thibodeau.
I'll tell you what, Zenray. 2022 summer is my last time I'm trusting this management. Nothing gets done. No, listen to the Knick Nation. I'm a Knick fan. I am 40 years old, ladies and gentlemen. I hope to see the Knicks win a championship before I leave this beautiful green earth. And let me just tell you, if the Knicks do not do nothing this summer and they run it back with the same team and they just add one or two mediocre players, I'm done with this Knicks management. I'll still be a Knicks fan, but I never want to hear in Leon Rose we trust, because we brought that man here and we brought Worldwide West for their people skills and their connections, and we have not seen squat.
Well, listen, John made a good point as well. I think he doesn't want to overpay like I would in terms of getting Jaden Ivey here. Maybe I'm in desperation mode. We have to get him, guys. We have to.
I understand, John. I understand his pain.
He says, I'll do 11th pick, the Mavs pick next year, and Cam Reddish. I'll do that in a couple of second-round picks, and we'll even give you Kemba Walker.
And Julius. I
think it's going to go over the cap. They won't be able to afford that. They're going to have to give us something in return. But, yeah, I would do that. I would do that. See, John is correct. I got a little bit out of hand. He's correct. He's a smart Knick Nation type of fan, and I agree with him. He says, I'm not giving up our first next year. I agree, and I don't think Leon Rose is going to do that either. We'll deal Dallas, we'll Cam, and we'll do this year's 11th pick and to get Jaden Ivey, and we'll throw in a Burks or Julius, whoever you want, or even Fournier. I'm willing to give up Fournier. He's a good shooter. He can probably do a great job out there in Sacramento. So I agree with John. My apologies, John, for getting a little excited here. I actually say I'll give up my number one next year and Dallas's pick. I kind of take that back, and I'm on John's ship there. I won't give up our number one, but I'll definitely give Dallas pick next year.
I'll go to Madison Square Garden and clear out Julius Randle's locker room, John. I'll pack his stuff for him. I'll expedite it. Just get that man out of here, please.
Yeah, a one-way ticket.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's what we have to do. But I also, that Dyson Daniels thing that people are talking about is, and John just was laughing out loud, I guess, on getting him Julius Randle and packing his bags. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll definitely do that right away. But Dyson Daniels is another name I'm hearing. Mark Berman. He's a big Dyson Daniels guy. He's like, my God, he has a love affair with Dyson Daniels. Like the Knicks.
Yeah, I don't know why.
And that. Look, McBride shot an average 28 points per game in the G League. Dyson Daniels averaged 11.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the same G League. So you're telling me because he's 6'8" and can pass the ball a little bit that you're going to draft him when we have a Deuce McBride waiting in the wings? Mark Berman, I love your commentary. You're a little bit over the top in terms of going after Dyson Daniels, but stay off that coffee. Whatever you're putting in that coffee, that nip, ooh. Dyson Daniels is not the answer for the Knicks, Mark Berman. Definitely, if you're hearing that, I doubt if he's hearing this. I think the Knicks are going to go elsewhere. We have Quickly, who at a desperation mode, we need a point guard. We can use him. We have McBride. We got a Rukus Robobitis.
Don't forget, we still got Derrick Rose.
I mean, what else? Why are we drafting point guards here? You want to get a Jaden Ivey who can play the number 2, could play the 1, that combo guard type star. He's a star. That's the reason we're going after. Dyson Daniels has no star quality. I don't see him being. I see him being an average, above average player on an NBA team, like especially a playoff team that needs a point guard to keep things in control. That's a Dyson Daniels. Listen, this is an opportunity, Knick Nation, to move up and get the player that the Knicks desperately need. A star player. Imagine him and Obi on the floor at the same time. Think about that, Knick Nation. So, hey, listen, John, I appreciate your commenting, and everybody else who's watching. Get involved, ask questions, give us your opinions. But this is one guy here I want no part of.
Agreed. I think Tom Thibodeau is so in love with him because he might remind him of Alex Burke. You know that Tom Thibodeau is a big Alex Burke fan. He got long arms, a defender. So he's basically the Alex Burke of whatever team drafts him. And listen, we don't need a guy like that that's going to sit in the bench. Or maybe Tom Thibodeau likes him so much because he doesn't want to get rid of Alex Burke. And he knows if he drafts somebody like that, he's going to just sit in the bench and ride the pine. So we don't want anybody like that. Like I said, Zenray, Ivy 100%. With limitations, like we just spoke about a few seconds ago. Let's do everything we can. If not, there's a couple of options out there that I would be okay with if we ended up with.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. We have to be creative in this draft and move up. John is asking, you guys think Mitch is walking? And I don't think he is. I think Knicks are going to keep him. He wants to stay. The Knicks are the only team that can offer him more money. Everybody else except Detroit and another team I can't think of right now can offer him more, but everybody else can offer. Chicago, like we mentioned a few minutes back, wants Mitch, but they can only offer him like a veteran, a league veterans deal, which is not that much money. The Knicks can blow that out of the water. Detroit can probably try to give him the bag, but the Knicks are going to match anything anybody else is going to give him. I think he's staying. What do you think, Juby? You think he's staying or going?
It depends on what Detroit offers him. If the Detroit offers him, I don't know what they can offer him.
I don't think
if they offer him $80 million,
think about it. Why would they offer $80 million? That's ridiculous. What,
because they're desperate. They have nobody in the NBA right now wants to play for Detroit, which I don't understand why. Once upon a time, the Detroit Pistons were a great team. The Grand Hills, the Jerry Stackhouses.
An upcoming team,
I think they're upcoming too.
I think they have a better shot with the assets they have. It's to trade for Rudy Gobert if you want a person like that. Rudy Gobert, I don't know how much he makes contract-wise, but why would you give Mitchell Robinson $80 million? I don't think they'll go there. I think they'll offer him 15, and the Knicks will probably say, okay, we'll offer you 16. If it's out of this league, then they'll have to do a sign and trade with Detroit. I mean, yeah. I don't.
Honestly, I think Mitchell Robinson. I think we should no more than 17 million per season. That's just my opinion. I think he wants 20. I honestly think Mitchell Robinson wants 20. Mm-hmm. Do I think he's 20 million? I don't know.
Yeah, he's saying Rudy Gobert's contract is atrocious. Okay, so look, I think John mentioned a good point. Rudy Gobert's contract is a little crazy as well. That's trying to get rid of him. But Mitchell Robinson, will Detroit offer him $20 million? That's the fun part of
Lonzo Ball got 20-something million, Zenray. And the Knicks did,
That's Lonzo Ball. He's a point guard. Mitchell Robinson does not score. He's a rim protector. He's a high flyer. He'll get you points on the inside. He doesn't shoot the ball from the outside. It's because the Knicks haven't yet let him. I'm hearing this year, I'm pretty sure the Knicks are going to sign him. They're going to have some game plans where he's going to be shooting the threes. I hear at practice, Mitchell Robinson shoots the three very effectively. Imagine him going out there stretching the floor.
That'd be nice.
Wow. Shooting some points of threes out from the floor. I think the Knicks should let him do his thing out because I've watched quite a few videos that he can really ball from the outside. So I can see Mitchell Robinson staying here. Rudy Gobert's contract, like John says, is a little bit crazy. So maybe Detroit's going to stand packed and kind of draft a player in this draft. Maybe a Mark Williams, maybe a Jalen Duren. That's a possibility for Detroit. Why not? You did a big man. Why pay for it when you could get a young rookie in this draft?
Yeah. What pick? I don't know off the top of my head. What pick do they own this season? This upcoming draft? Do you know off the top of your head? They're in the teens, right? Detroit?
No, I think they're right now.
Because I may have an interesting proposal. If they're picked before us, which I don't think they do.
What's that? What's the proposal?
Great proposal would be, listen, if they pick the 7th or 6th, maybe we can move up. I don't think Ivy will be there, but if Ivy's gone and we can't get up to the 4, if we can get up to the 6 and get Malachi, why not? You know what I mean? Maybe we offer them Nerlens Noel and Alex Burke.
Wow, it says here they picked number 5.
Ooh.
So that's interesting.
Mitchell Robinson, Zenray. I'm telling you, sign and trade.
Nah, they won't give up
the 11th pick. Why not? Mitchell Robinson and the 11th pick for a sign and trade, and maybe you throw them at Alex Burke or a Nerlens Noel since they're so desperate for a big man, and they give us their 5th pick.
I don't
Something to
think
think about.
that. Listen, they can pick up Jalen Duren. They could probably move out. I think what they're saying here is they're hot and heavy over Jaden Ivey. So they're not going to trade the number 5 pick. Let's be realistic. We can throw trades out there like crazy. I don't think that's going to happen. And John's saying that Rudy Gobert makes between 40 to 43 million dollars a year. So even if you get a Mitchell Robinson,
what?
That's crazy. I didn't know that. Thank you, John, for the information update.
Wow.
I mean, wow, that's crazy money.
That is crazy.
Wow. But look, Detroit at number 5, the hot and heavy of Jaden Ivey. I think if they don't get him, they can trade out of that spot and still get a Jalen Duren and still get a Mark Williams in this draft. I think that could answer their center position. I don't think they'll go out there shopping, spending $40 to $43 million for a Rudy Gobert and try to go after Mitchell Robinson, try to give him $20 million when you can get somebody on a rookie deal. They can trade out of number 5 and probably get 2 draft picks out of that. So, I mean, if Detroit could be creative, their management team, they can still get their center and get another talent in this draft.
Only time will tell, ladies and gentlemen. 13 days away. We're going to be here. I know, Zenray, we got our upcoming 1-year anniversary show. I don't know if you want to let everybody know when that's going to happen.
Wednesday, we're going to be doing a show. Same time, about 7:50 is the anniversary show. I'm going to have a certain giveaway to certain people commenting right now. Right now, John would get the giveaway. He's the only one participating. But it's going to be a shirt with my logo on it, with the Zenray logo on it. And maybe I'll throw in a cap with that as well. It's a merch store that I'm going to be creating pretty soon. And I'll give you some kind of code to enter the merch store, merchandising place, and just pick your shirt and hat, cap, and pick it to your size and things of that nature. So that'll be a next year, a 1-year anniversary will be next Wednesday, June 15th. And that's already a year. We have some clips for our first show. That'll be kind of funny to watch. Pretty horrible. We're a little better now. We're a little better now than what we were a year ago. Oh my gosh. I was looking back at it, Juby, the other day. Woo! Pretty bad. Pretty baby. Like the Latinos say, pretty salao. Pretty bad. But John, no problem. Thank you for the information. Like I said, he's been the contributor today. So John is the winner in today's contest, even though there's no prize behind it, but we'll give you our thank yous today. But if you come on Wednesday and you have all this good stuff here, you'll definitely win some merch next week.
Very informative.
And Ray Sports TV. So anything else you want to talk about? We talk about Branham, and we spoke about Jalen Ty Washington. We spoke a little bit of Ty Washington. Those are the 3 they interviewed, and also Jaden Ivey was the first one they interviewed. Yeah. I think Jaden Ivey is on the top of the list. I look for the Knicks to try to get him. If not, Benedict Mathurin is probably the second one on that list that I would.
He's my second too.
Yeah, he's a guy that you can plug in right away, and he can start making the chemistry in his team better.
Sharp is my third.
Who's that?
Sharp. He's my third. That I would try to go. You know, he's not going to be there.
Leon Rose is not going to pick him. He's not going to be there. But Leon Rose wouldn't take a chance on a guy who you have no college tape of. Hell of a talent, but I don't think Leon Rose is going to gamble that way and take a guy that you really have no history on college. But he looks like the real deal. I just don't think the Knicks can get him where he's going. And I think if they had a choice between Jaden Ivey and Sharp, they definitely.
Ivey, of course. Ivey all the way. Yeah. Ivey all the way.
So John is saying salute. We salute to you, and we thank you for coming on, John. Our boy Don hasn't arrived. I know he has some scheduling differences when we put the show on, but we say hello to Don.
Hey, Don.
John it was great today. We have Robert, who's always been commentating on my pages on YouTube. I want to thank everyone who's been participating. I thank you, everyone. We're going to be on next Wednesday for our 1-year anniversary show. I think John agrees with us. He says Ivy and Mathurin is his second choice as well. See, these are intelligent Knicks fans.
That's right. None but the best
who can come in and make an impact on the team. Ty Washington is not that guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Juby. I know last week you ended the show is don't be surprised if Nick draft.
That was me being negative. That was me.
If
That
the
doesn't mean
Knicks
I want
draft
to
Ty
happen.
Washington, I'm gonna give you $100. Send you
Oh.
$100 in cash.
Damn.
The Knicks draft.
You know what? I don't need the money. Please, Knicks management. Normally I would say send me the money. I don't want the money. Do not draft this guy. I beg you. Not that he's not a bad guy. He looks like he's a talented player. He's not just what we need.
I agree. So we're gonna end the show with a little bit of the interview that about the interview the Knicks made. This is Branham. This is Dyson Daniels, and last will be Ty Washington. I also just made a video about Jaden Ivey's interview. I just put it up about an hour and a half ago. Take a look at that. I did a lot of players the Knicks should draft. And a lot of players the Knicks looked at on my channel. There's a lot of good stuff going on. John, once again, very highly intelligent Knicks fan. Ivy and Mathurin, his top two. That's the two that I want here. Possibly a Sohan. If we can't get those two, move out of there and try to get an extra pick in the draft. You get for Branham, and you try to get another player in here. A lot of things the Knicks can do in this draft. We forget that there's a lot of talent. I think talent goes up as far as to 15. But besides that, after 15, it's kind of a crapshoot. But if anybody knows what they're doing in building this big Knicks organization, it's Walt Perrin and Frank Zanon. The Knicks organization is solid. Johnny Bryant looks like he may get a job. If he doesn't, and the Knicks kind of falter next year starting off, I expect Johnny Bryant to be our new head coach. He wants to coach. I think he'll be a hell of a coach with these young kids with the Knicks. And Leon Rose, I trust. And Tom Thibodeau, I have a lot to be desired with him. His substitution patterns last year killed us. Hard-headed, stubborn. So I think if he goes the same route next year, and Johnny Bryant is still fortunate to be on the Knicks, plug in Johnny Bryant right in there at the All-Star break. The Knicks player know him already. They've practiced with him. It'll be an easy transition. So, Knicks Nation, brace yourself for any reason that we still have Randall and this thing goes haywire next year with Tom Thibodeau playing the veterans. Expect Johnny Bryant being that new apparent head coach for the Knicks. Juby, with that said, I just want to thank everyone who's been watching us and giving us a vote of confidence. And I appreciate John for coming on. Juby, you have any last departing words before we go?
I look forward to talking to you guys on Wednesday on the anniversary show. And look out for, like I said, let's hope that Knicks management is in the same place. And as always, family above everything, guys. Have a good night. Appreciate everybody at Zenray Sports TV. Thank you, John, for all your comments and everybody out of Knicks Nation.
Yes, and I also want to say hello to my lovely wife and my son who are out in the Philippines right now with the Tamayo family. I want to say hello to everyone.
Hello.
Always. I miss you. I miss you guys. Judah, Eunice, hope to see you coming back soon. Salute, fellas. Be safe out there. John, you too. We thank you for coming on. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, never give up. Never give up knowing that the best is yet to come. With love, peace, and gratitude. Zenray out. Juby.
Peace, my brother.
You.
Absolutely. Go New York, go New York, go. All right, guys, let's wrap it up with this interview real quick.
Yeah, I feel like I'm one of the top shooters in the draft, just because I'm so efficient at it. Also, I can shoot at my grip as well, so I feel like I'm one of the best shooters in the draft. It's a couple guys. You know a couple guys. So you know who the shooters are in the draft. So hey, you can answer that question.
We don't want him.
I think so. That's the versatility that I have. I can play 1 through 4. I can handle the ball. I can pass the ball. So I think my main strength is at the point guard position.
Any fans still here? Kevin Knox here. it was. We looked. I mean, we were writing about it all the time. Like type of pipeline. You were in Lexington. You were like the Knicks. That's Kentucky territory.
Yeah. Most
Hi, Ty. We don't want to tie, guys. But ladies and gentlemen, check out the rest of that video on Zenray Sports TV's channel. I appreciate you guys coming in here tonight. Even if you guys watch it after it's live, appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back on Wednesday with our 1-year anniversary. I'm Juby the Tubi, reminding you guys you don't have to be blood to be family. And as always, family above everything. Stay safe, guys. Peace.